This is a review of the Rockpals portable electronic roll-up drum pad set, battery operated with a 2400 milliamp hour battery that the seller claims gives 10 hours of playtime. I'm always a little skeptical of something like that, but even if you assume that, say, that's only 8 hours or 7 hours, that's still enough time certainly for a practice session, a set, or whatever. As you can see, this comes in a box, a fairly compact box. Let's open it up and see what we've got. As you can see, the drum pad does in fact roll up, opens out, and you've got the main control panel and battery. You've got a couple of sustain pedals on either side. You've got the charging cable, and underneath all this, you've got a couple of drumsticks to go with it. And in addition to that, you've got the user's guide that goes with this as well. So I've already charged this up separately. I'm going to put it out on the table now and show you what it sounds like. Actually, before I show you what it sounds like, let's walk through the controls here a little bit. The kit button allows you to toggle between several different sounds, so it's not just one drum pad and seven pads and 7 sounds. You can toggle through 5 different options there. The click is a metronome. The only disadvantage to the metronome, well, I'll get to that when we actually show you what the metronome sounds like. A play-stop button, a demo button, so we can put this through its paces without you having to put up with my drumming. A special button, and I'll get into that in just a little bit, and volume plus and minus. Then, of course, on this side, you've got the on-off button. You've got your basic micro USB charger input. You've got an MP3, so the drum pad can play along to your favorite songs. Output to headphones or speakers, and then that's where you input those 2 sustain pedals there on that other one. Alright, so you've got this all set up. I've got it plugged in. We're going to have a sound. Actually, before I test the individual sounds, let's just go ahead and do a demo. Turn that down a little bit so you can actually hear me over it. There's more than one demo. If I press the button again, it'll switch to a different demo. And according to the user's manual, let's talk about that here, we've got the following demos: heavy rock, punk, Latin, dance, samba, cha-cha, swing hi-hat, and upbeat rock. Alright, let's go ahead and stop that. I think you can see that it has some pretty impressive sounds for a little pad like this. What I wanted to get at here with the metronome is when you push the metronome, it's your basic metronome sound. This is a 4-beat. You push again, you've got a 3-beat. And then obviously a very fast beat. And then toggle back to the beginning. The problem with the metronome, and the reason I find that to be frankly relatively useless, is there's no way to adjust the tempo. Those are the 3 settings you get, and those are all the settings you get. Without the ability to be able to set the tempo, there's very limited ability to actually do anything with the metronome. It's interesting. I mean, you might find it interesting from a practice standpoint, but unless you just get lucky and your song happens to fit into the beat, the tempo that they have chosen for the metronome, there's probably not a whole lot you're going to do about it. I should note that the special button allows you to switch 2 of these pads around, so that depending on which way you want your pads. So let me walk through these. So the pad number 1 is a crash. That's a tom, a ride, a hi-hat down here in the corner, a snare, tom 2, and tom 3. Now if I press the special, then I'm swapping these 2 around. So now this is the snare, and this is the hi-hat. Honestly, I don't know why they do that, but I suppose that there are some drummers that are used to having one or the other on the outside, and that allows you to switch it. Down here on the floor, I've got my 2 sustain pedals. Oops, sorry. They're a little fragile, and as you can tell, there is an audible click from those. So this is not as sound. There is going to be that little sound there that goes along with the sound that it's supposed to make. Alright, so the timbre catalog, this has to go with the kit. So if we start with, you've got these various sounds, and that's what's known as the pop timbre. If I press the kit button now, this is going to rock. So I'm just switching these and you're hearing them. So each one of these might stay the same, but in the aggregate, the overall sounds are going to be different depending on which one you pick. And the timbre catalogs, as you can see, there's a pop, a rock, a Latin, electro, and percussion. I am not a talented percussionist. Basically, all I can do is just beat it, but I think you can hear that the sounds on this little pad actually are quite good. Surprisingly good in my view, and it also has a fairly decent amount of volume. This is not something you're going to take along to a club with you. This is practice, or this is just fun in your living room. If you are playing serious rock, you've got an electric guitar next to you, you've got a crowd playing, you'd better have speakers. Yes, this is actually pretty loud, but not loud enough to overcome crowd noise and such. As you can hear from this demo, it plays some interesting sounds, so not just necessarily the traditional drums that you expect, not just snare drums, for example. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this. I love the functionality. I love that it folds up so small. I like that it's battery operated so that you can literally take this anywhere, including outdoors. It appears that it has enough power. I did not test it and play it uninterrupted for 10 hours, but I've been playing around with it, testing it for a couple hours. There's been no indication of any sign the battery's dying, and I've had the volume up pretty loud while I've been doing it. This is a little more expensive than the equivalent drum pad that you plug in, so you need to basically ask yourself if you need the portability. If you don't need the portability, if you're always near a chord, then don't go ahead and go for the slightly cheaper model that doesn't have the battery. But this provides you the benefit, even if you're, say, playing at home or something. You can put this anywhere, and you don't have to look for that 8-foot extension cord somewhere that allows you to plug it in where you need to plug it in. So I love the flexibility. I like the sound. I love how small it folds up. I like that basically everything is provided, including the drumsticks. Overall, I really like this. It's competitively priced, and it's a lot of fun, and I can recommend it.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up, open the park pot.